Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel Boom Boom Tech. So, as I mentioned in the previous presentation, I'm going to discuss about the data types in my next presentation. So, as like of that, I bring up and I brought up with the data types present in different programming languages, and mainly I'm focusing now only the C++. And now coming to the data types. So, I just mentioned what is the data type definition over there. Like, what is a data type? Data types are means to identify the type of data and associated operation of handling it. So, in order to identify what kind of data we are going to define the data type for that particular variable. So, and what are the operations associated we are going to handle it. Here, it refers to the variables or numbers that are going to be declared. What are the operations that are going to be handling with those things? And for all those things, we are going to give the data type in order to identify what kind of data it is. So here basically the data types are of three kinds. In each and every programming languages, we will go with the three kinds of data types. So it was built-in data type, derived data type, and user-defined data type. And regarding all these three different kinds of data types, we are going to define each and everything in a clear manner in the upcoming slides. So, as I mentioned, I'll bring up with a tree manner or hierarchical manner, whatever procedural manner or in a precised manner. I brought up with a tree manner actually, and I mentioned only the C++ data types over here, and the basic data types present in each and every programming language over here are going to be described. So, user-defined data types are of structure, union, class, enumeration. So here I'm going to discuss about the structure, class and enumeration examples in the upcoming slides and not about the class. And because class plays a major role in the C++ programming language, so I'm not going to discuss about the class data type over here. So coming to the built-in data types, I'll go here with an integral data type, and again here integral data types are classified into int type and character type and void, and floating point is again classified into the float and double, and excluded from these data types they are short, long double, boolean, byte. All these are the different kinds of data types present in the built-in data types only. All those are known as the primitive data types. Primitive data types and built-in data types are of same kind. And coming to the derived data types. So in the derived data types, we go with the arrays, functions, pointers and reference, and all these will be going to be explained in the upcoming slides. So I just mentioned each and every kind of data type over here and how many memory allocations are occupied for each and every data type, and what are the signed and unsigned ranges for each and every data type. So here, after completion of each and every range present for each and every type, it will go in a circular manner. So it will return to the memory allocation after completion of this particular range only. So I will explain here what are the signed ranges and unsigned ranges for each and every data type and how many bytes of memory it is going to occupy in the registers. So for char, short int, long int, float, double and long double, I just used mantissa and exponential properties over here like 3.e, 4e for the float and double, long double. Mantissa and exponential form I just used over here for range. And now I'll go with the built-in data types. So here built-in data types are those who are not composed of other data types. Here built-in data types are separate from derived data types. These data types are not cope up with the other data types like user-defined and derived data types. These are of unique kinds, and the main 4-5 kinds of built-in data types are as follows. We'll just use mainly only these three. Like for the basic beginners, we just go with the 5 data types like int type, char type, float type, double type and void type. So here int type is of integer, char type is of character, float type is consisting of like precision values, double will consist of precision values too, and void type as I mentioned in the previous presentation, like void void is a type which will return some value. So here it describes what is a void data type. So everyone is not aware of this void data type too. So that I mentioned here void data type. The void data type specifies an empty set of values. Here the void does not specify a set of values which are of having some kind of conditions, logic as well. So it doesn't sense all those things. It specifies only the empty set of values. So it doesn't specify the conditions, logics and all those things. It is used as a return type for functions that do not return a value. So in order to return a value, we'll use int data type. So if any functions are not going to return any kind of value, in that conditions we'll go with the void. So for suppose in the programming body or the programming statements, we used to define a logic which doesn't return any kind of value. In that case, we'll use void as a return type. It doesn't return any kind of value. It specifies only the empty set of values. So it is going to indicate an empty set of values. So we use a void as a data type because it doesn't return any kind of value. So here int data type. So here for integers we call as int in a shortcut manner. We can remind it in such a way. So here all the whole numbers comes under the integers from 5, 39 minus negative values, positive values, neutral values like 0. It includes 0 also. The integer value includes 0 also. They doesn't have any kind of precision values. Means any kind of decimal values are not allowed in the int data type. So integers can have positive as well as the negative values. An identifier declared as int cannot have a fractional part. So whatever the value we are going to declare as an int, it shouldn't be any kind of decimal value. It doesn't take a fractional value as an int. So what now coming to the char data type. What is a char data type? What is a char? So basically we used char as a character. Instead of character, we can shortly call it as char. And characters can store any member of C++, not only the C++ implementation basic character set, it includes and it can store whether irrespective of the programming language, it stores any member of character sets. So it can store any kind of characters like single characters. So as I mentioned in the previous presentation, like whatever the characters that are present in the single quoted, it will be taken as character, and what are the things that are presented in the double quotes will be taken as a string. So that's the difference between the string and char. And here coming to the char, it will choose any kind of members that implements different programming languages as a character set. So it will take the multiple characters and it will store as a set of characters, and an identifier declares a char becomes character variable. So whatever the identifier we are going to declare with a char, like char some n will comes under the character variable. So char set is often said to be an integer type. So if we give the multiple characters, we can often call it as an integer type also. So what is a float data type? So basically in a float data type, we are having the fractional part. So we are going to have the precision and decimal value. The decimal point shows that it is a floating point number. That's not an integer. So a floating point. So it does have round, seal, float and all those values present in the float. So here minus 31.0 is a floating point. So what is a value for 0 after point? There is no value. Even though here in the programming language, if it is a 0.0, it will consider as a float. It is not considered as an integer because the floating point is mainly of decimal point. It shows the decimal point. We have to keep it in the mind, like float is of decimal type only. And coming to the double data type. So it is used for handling floating point numbers. It occupies twice as memory as float. So float and double is of same type, but it differs in the memory. So it occupies twice the memory as float, and as the float is too small here, double will precise insufficiently. So double will occupies more if if the particular variable and particular memory is of large size, it will goes with the double, and that too in the fractional part it will goes with the double, because it will occupies more and more, and it also occupies twice as memory as float. So many of the people who are done with the floating point programming, those people will go with a double data type rather than float. Now coming to the data type modifiers. So now coming to the basic data type modifiers, we are having three types of modifiers: integer type modifier, character type modifier, float type modifier. So now coming to the integer type modifiers. What is the integer type modifiers? So what are the things that are handling with the integer values only? Those are named as integer type modifiers. So I just mentioned it like this. By using different number of bytes to store values, like C++ offers, not only the C++, all the other languages also offers the different modifiers, type modifiers to occupy the values that are going to declare by the programmer in the program. So here in the integer type modifier, it comes like short, int and long, that can represent up to 3 different integer sizes. Like short is based on the compilers, here the data types are going to change like the memory locations, like in the Unix it will occupy in one way, like Windows it will occupy another way, Ubuntu it will occupy another way, coming to the int and short and char. So it will different based on the different compilers. So here the short is having at least 2 bytes. Here integer is at least big as short as big as short. So here a long integer is occupying at least the 4 bytes. So here the long integer is described with the capital L at the end of an integer. So it will occupy exactly the 4 bytes. Now coming to the type, and what is the approximate size in bytes, and what is the range, minimal range for the particular type. So as I mentioned in the previous slide also regarding the type and what is the memory location that is going to occupy in the memory location in different registers, and what is the minimal and maximal range that is going to happen in both signed and unsigned in, that is of same type. But here I didn't mention like exponential form and mantissa form for long and unsigned long, and I doesn't mention here regarding double and long double too. So here are only the few things that are going to be expressed without exponential and mantissa with the minimal range. Now what is a char type modifiers? Here the char type modifiers are nothing. Only the char type like signed and unsigned characters comes under the char type modifiers, but in the int it will comes under short, long, int and integer. So character type modifiers is of only the char type. So unsigned char range and signed char range I just mentioned over there. And here actually the unsigned char and signed char are based on the caps lock and small lock of an alphabetical order and alphanumeric values. And coming to the type and approximate for the char, it is going to be as follows. It will occupy exactly the 1 byte in the memory location, and the minimal range for both of the signed and unsigned is of the following, like -128 to 127 and 0 to 255, sorry. And coming to the floating point type modifiers, it will come up with the float, double and long double, and the memory location occupied by the float will be of 4 bytes, double will be of 8 bytes, and long double will be of 10 bytes. So, and this is the table regarding the float, double and long double, and what is the precision that is going to be taken in float, double and long double. So this is not a this I just doesn't mention any kind of minimal range over here. I just mention only the digit of precision it is going to take. So up to 7 digits in float it will take as a consideration. In double it will take up to 15 digits. After the decimal point it will take up to 15 digits as a precision value. In long double it will take up to 19 digits as a precision value. Now coming to the derived data types. In the derived data types, basically we'll going to discuss about the arrays, functions, pointers, references and constants. So I'm not going to discuss about the references and constants now. Now coming to the arrays. So here arrays are used to store the continuous memory location. So whatever the values that are going to be declared in the declaration, for the continuous memory location we are going to use the arrays. Whatever the one dimensional, two dimensional or multi-dimensional, irrespective of the dimensional, we are going to declare arrays only for the continuous memory locations. So here I just used examples like how to declare a 3-dimensional, 1-dimensional and 2-dimensional arrays is possible. For matrix we use arrays that will be like 2 by 3 matrices or 3 by 3 or 2 by 2 matrices, whatever, irrespective of the rows and columns. We are going to use arrays for the matrices. So for the float, here a single dimensional array float A of 3. So continuously it will occupy 3 bytes of memory over there, like 3, we can say like 3 boxes it will going to occupy continuously. Float A of 0, A of 1 and A of 2. So here 3, A of 3 in the sense it will start from 0, and here array indexes will start from 0 onwards, keep it in the mind, and 3 in the sense 0, 1 and 2. So in the 2-dimensional array, here we are going to take the rows and columns. Here int b of 2 will be of rows and 4 will be of columns. So 2 means it will take from 0, 1, 2 and 0 and 1, and 4 means 0, 1, 2 and 3. Up to 3 it will take. So for the arrays it will take index position from 0. Initially from 0 onwards it will take the value. Now for the functions. So for the functions, for the basic from the basic onwards we just learn one thing for the function as the definition. A set of statements to perform a specific task is named as function. So in a piece of code to perform a specific task, we just introduce different modules of a function to reduce the size of a program. So for each and everything we just created an objects. Like I'm going to describe all those classes and objects in the C++ program itself, and all those features will be explained over there. So it can be overloaded. So functions will be you just remind only one thing: specific task to perform, set of statements to perform a specific task over there, and a piece of code that performs a specific task, and it includes some blocks of codes too in the functions. So now coming to the pointers. Here the pointers, like pointers, what we can say, to know the address we use a point. Like if you want to know the exact location, you just point out some location, like that we can say. So in order pointers can be declared and initialized as we see. So irrespective of the programming language, we can declare and initialize the pointers in any programming language. So here the pointers are going to declare with a star symbol. So here IP is considered as star. Here IP is pointer, and the address of IP is stored in the variable x. So here address is represented by the ampersand symbol. So and here we are going to assign value 10 for the pointer IP. Got it? So hence the x value will be of 10. Got it? In the practical session we'll go regarding all the pointers and pointers to arrays, pointers to functions, pointers to methods, and everything will go with it. And coming to the structures, I just mentioned only the structures and union examples. I doesn't mention the enum and class objects and all those things under the user defined data types. So what is the structure? Here the structure is having the different syntax. Like here we just can see here the student is having the name, roll number and the total marks, and at the end of the block we are ending up with a semicolon over there. This is how the structure will be going to be declared in the program. So whatever the things that are going to be declared in the structure, it will take the memory location which is of highest data type. Difference between the structure and union will be of two kinds. In the structure, here we mentioned char, int and float. It will return the float data type which is of highest size. But in the union, it will togetherly will take all the memory locations and will return the entire memory location at the end. So that is the main difference between the structure and union. So here I'm going to declare a structure student A and student A in this. So different declarations I'm just mentioned over there, and I just mentioned roll number for the student A as 999, and the total marks for student A is 595, and the total marks will be added for the student total marks plus 5. And this is how the structures and difference between the structure and union will be that. And coming to the disadvantages of the structure, C doesn't allow it to be treated like a building data types. So as I already mentioned, like C doesn't allow the building data types to be behave like user defined and derived data types. So it will be of having its own kind of user defined, built-in and derived data types. So here the structure doesn't allow it to treat like a built-in data type. We just justify over it here. Struct complex of float x and float y. Here we just give the different types, like for x we just give the float, and for y also we just give the float. So here the structure doesn't allow the built-in data types. Like, got it my point? So here float is of built-in data type, right? So here structure doesn't allow a float type, and structure doesn't allow the int type. It just only allows only the declarations of complex type, only the types like complex, real, imaginary, like some kind of things will be there, and some kind of advantages and limitations, and some kind of syntax things will be there for the structures, and that doesn't permit the data hiding. So here in the structures it is not of hiding the data. Whatever the data that are going to be present in the declaration form, everything will be visualized for the programmers that is going to be happen in during the compile time and during the execution time. So now coming to the structures in the C++. So same as in the C, it holds variables and functions as members. It can in C++ structures can be defined as private. So in C++ we are having some kind of modifiers like public, private and protect. So it will, so here in the structures we'll declare structures as private in separate block, and I'll just mention all those access specifiers in C++ separate video or separate presentation. So here the C++ introduces another user defined data type known as class. So I just doesn't mention the class data type over here. I'll just give the brief discussion about the class and objects and all the features of C++ in my other presentation. And now coming to the unions. So here I just mentioned for you all the guys, difference between the structure and union will be of only the two kinds. Here in the structure it will return overall fields, and it will return the highest. So it will return the total overall value of memory location, but in the union it will return the highest memory location. So here float is occupying of 4 bytes, so it returns in size as 4 bytes. Now here is an example by using mnemonic format. I just use a mnemonic format over here. Actually it is of high level type. Based on here we just use a struct endian. All these are of mnemonics, like big underscore endian is of mnemonic, and in some of the data types present in it are we just can understand, and return offset values, and all the registers are return type, iterative type. All these things comes under the assembler language. I just use the assembler, and this is what the basic union example over here, and this is somewhat high level. And thanks for watching my video. Those who doesn't subscribe my channel till now, please do like, share, subscribe to my channel Boom Boom Tech. So in the upcoming videos there will be more interactive with both presentation as well. Actually my resources are not well, so that I am somewhat giving keen interest on you guys.